Have you considered modular construction for these houses?
No.
No, we haven't.
So we have a duo. Welcome to Property Elevator.
Thank you. Hello.
Thank you very much for joining us. Can you give us a little introduction, who you are, where you've come from today?
So my name is Joel and this is Nicole. We're both town planners and hopefully we can get a deal today.
So Nicole, tell us a little bit about the deal that you've brought today for our Angels.
So we're proposing a new build project in Preston in the northwest.
Okay.
Joel currently works out there doing his own property development projects there. So we're just hoping that we can get another project there and the Angels will want to be part of this one this time.
Brilliant. So how much funding are you looking for today?
We're looking for £950,000 today.
Okay. And is there anybody in particular that you would really like to partner up with on the deal?
We would be happy with any of the Angels. We know that John quite likes a new build development, and we know that he likes to have majority share, so we've kind of structured the deal to see if he would be interested in it, but we'd be happy with any of the Angels.
Great. Well, I'm sure John will be very happy to hear that.
Hopefully.
Well, good luck. We're
Thank
going to
you.
send you in shortly, and I can't wait to see how you get on.
Oh, thank
Thank
you
you.
so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Tell us about the deal you brought us today, please.
So, good afternoon, Angels. My name's Nicole and this is Joel. We're here to ask for £950,000 for 51% stake in our proposed new build development in Lower Birtle in Preston. So the land has outline planning permission for 4 dwellings. So Joel has a site 20 minutes away in Chorley where he got planning permission and he's building it out now. And what we want to do is use those house types for a reserve matters application on this site that we found. So we think the total cost of the development will be £1.9 million with a GDV of £2.6 million. So what we need the 950 for is, so the land is advertised at £500,000, but we've spoken to the agent and they said if we give an unconditional offer, we can get the land for £450,000. Now we're anticipating the reserve matters application will cost £107,000. This is to include seal and discharging conditions, etc. And then the rest of the money we'll be using to get to at least foundations and footings.
Right.
So Lower Bartle is part of a wider strategic allocation. So the northwest of Preston has been allocated for 5,300 dwellings. And that includes new primary schools, a secondary school. There's going to be a new Eastern Link Road that will link you to the M55. So currently it takes 15 minutes to get to the M55. With this new link road, it will take you 5 minutes. There's a site that's been built out currently, and it was done in 2 phases. So 3 dwellings and then 7 dwellings. So the 3 dwellings were sold between 2020 and 2021, and they sold from £515,000 to £600,000. There was one that was sold for £565,000, which we believe will be at a value of £713,000 now.
Okay.
So the 7 dwellings, unfortunately, there's no land registry information for us to look at, but when they were advertising it, it was marketed at £689,000 for each dwelling, and they all average around 2,100 square foot, which is similar to what Joel is doing in his Chorley site.
So basically we've established the fact that the area is good and the sale prices are pretty good as well. Okay.
And that they know their comparables.
And that they know the
Yeah.
comparables. First of all, can I just congratulate you on this amazing pack? I mean,
Thank you.
Oh,
I mean,
thank you.
it's absolutely phenomenal.
Listen to this.
Helen, listen to that.
So work out picking it up.
Can I just say Helen is beside herself, so that's fantastic. The second thing is, you know, you're both town planners, very well qualified, which is congratulations to you both.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's great to have 2 young people with those qualifications come to meet the Angels and to pitch.
Can you just give us the really basic numbers?
Total build cost, 1.9 million. GDV, 2.6 million. Angel stake, 51%. Total profit will be 644,510. And then it would be a 51%, 49%
Yep.
split.
Very generous. Give us control.
Well, I
Yeah.
think actually that's something that some of the other potential pitchers could learn from?
I've seen John, and John likes to take the big deal. So I said to Nicole, let's give him the big deal.
Yeah.
That'll go far.
Yeah, he always says he wants to take the bigger,
Yeah.
the 51%.
Yeah.
So that's what we're giving him.
Second question, and last question for me at the moment is, you mentioned about just taking it to foundation level. What's the theory behind that, and why don't you want to build it out?
We do want to build it out.
But
go on,
well,
Nicole.
so the other half of the money, so it's 1.9 million, so 950 from Angels, 950 we were going to get development finance. Joel and I have done projects and we've used bridging finance, and we spoke to the underwriter at that bridging finance company, and they said that they can offer us up to 70% of the 1.9 million of the total project cost. So we thought if we could get Angels to help us purchase the land, do the reserve matters and get to foundations and footings, it would be easier to then just get the bridging finance to help complete the whole build, and then we'd put it on the market.
Yeah, I understand. Helen?
Are you struggling to find your next commercial to residential conversion project? Well, over the next 2 years, virtually every UK bank branch will close. Banks are fabulous buildings in prime locations, and thanks to permitted development rights, they're really easy to convert to alternative uses under a light touch planning regime. My team have put together a list of over 500 UK bank branches which are poised for imminent closure. And for a limited period only, you can download this list absolutely free. Your next commercial property project is on this list, so download it now and enjoy the rest of the video.
Do you know the site, by the way, personally? Or?
I don't, but I definitely like the area that it's in. It's where I'm from, and I really like the council because obviously
has the same name.
Great name, what can I say? I like the look of the numbers. So from the numbers that you've given us so far, it's 32% return on cost and 25% return on GDV. What do you see? And you know, we literally get 10 minutes to review this, so we haven't been through every page, and we see there's a lot of appendices in there, so great detail. What are the main risks on this?
The main risk is that there's a lot of development happening, so there's going to be a lot of housing coming there.
Right.
I've taken it because I've come from a strategic land background. When I work for my company, I take that as a good thing. It's like if there's development there, then we can get development there. But that also comes as a risk because there's going to be a lot of other housing products there. That is why we have priced it at 650 with 150 square foot build cost.
Is that what you're currently building your other site?
No, I've got it for cheaper, £140 per square foot, and we're on site building already.
And you have good builders that are willing to sign a JCT.
Yep.
At that.
Yep, 100%.
Might have to get their details.
No worries.
We've just said 150 because we know construction costs are going up a lot at the moment.
Yeah.
And
the reason I say that is most builders are at 200 plus, especially for better quality stuff.
Yeah. So I work for quite a big house, and they are at 200. But we build in the south. Yeah.
And I've also seen this, like in the south, the construction costs are so much higher. Just to let you know, in Machuli site, it's a much more complicated site. It's on a gradient. We've had to do a S185, a sewer diversion, and we've had to take over 100 tons of muck away because of the gradient, and it's on a split level. So
that's a complicated site.
It's a very complicated site. So this is the Preston land we're talking about right now. To me, is a very simple site.
Okay.
What's the project duration? How long is it until?
24 months total.
24 months.
Including getting reserve matters and discharging all the conditions.
Yes. So those returns are basically over a 2-year period of being in the deal. Have you considered modular construction for these houses?
No.
No, we haven't.
It will certainly be more expensive, Ranjan, I would say. I mean, it works more in the south, I think, because of build costs. For me, getting the pre-commencement conditions signed off is a nightmare.
Yes,
in my view.
Yeah.
At the moment, and it's taken a long time to be able to do that. The council here, have you got, because obviously you're working already up there, so have you got some knowledge of how easy they are to work with? Because that always makes me nervous when I have to deal with councils.
I've been working with Chorley Council for the past year, and you know what? I've got all my conditions discharged. They're
Good
very
relationship with them.
Yeah, very good
Yeah,
relationship with them.
Okay, that's
but
good.
if you're like every organization, when you put pressure on them and you're not nice to them, you're going
My advice
downhill.
to anybody and anyone listening to the show is that always treat your local authority with great respect,
Yes.
great politeness, and that's the best way to get
100%.
decisions made, because I know a number of people get incredibly frustrated, and that doesn't help at all. So I agree entirely with you.
Something you did mention as being a risk, which I think it might be, is the GDV. You mentioned just before that a house was built for 560 and is now worth 730 over 12 months. That's 25% uplift. So that's toward the upper end of what's happened in the UK over the past 18 months, you know. So this area is obviously a growing area, which is great. But it also means there's probably a higher likelihood of a higher amount of softening in the market over the next 12 to 18 months, which is well within your time frame for building. So I suppose, how do we account for that risk, that it might come down by 10, 15% over that time frame?
The reason why I said 650 was because I saw that the other houses were marketed at 689. Unfortunately, I don't have the land registry information to tell you that it was sold for 689. But I thought that we accounted for that risk by not saying it's going to be sold for 689.
So you've allowed, Nicole, some wiggle room in those figures.
Yeah.
What I'd like to have seen is a letter or two from an agent saying, look, you know, this is what we think we can sell these for. You know, it just gives us all, it gives all a little bit more confidence probably. As it would a QS report saying what it's going to cost to build as well. I hear what you say, and you're doing it up there, so that's great.
So you're at 328 for an average ask price for the area for £328 per square foot, because then you can work out, you can compare apples and apples. So if you've got 650.
She's on a calculator, that's serious.
Look out.
Look out.
328.
Trouble's about.
Yeah, it's about 2,000 square foot.
Yeah.
And that's what we're looking at, really.
Yes.
Yeah.
We don't want to make it too big. If we're making it big, build costs are going to go up as well.
I agree.
And that's it. And that's exactly what John's saying. And that's where you need to.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's that kind of that fine balance. Okay.
You've found a site here which has already got planning. Yeah. You are two incredibly talented, young, bright people who have got a skill set, have got a degree in town planning. You know, I just think this is a bit too simple, that any builder could find this and do this. And I think you're brighter and better than that, if you get my meaning.
There's no pleasing you today, John. If they come in without planning, you won't invest. If they come in with planning,
No,
it's
but
too
they've
easy.
got to, what I'm saying
I
is they've
tend
got
to
a
agree with
skill.
John. It kind of
They've got a
defeats the
skill.
purpose of their skill set.
Yeah.
I agree with that. It's already done.
We still have to do
we
reserve
can't discount
matters.
Still have
Still
to
got
make
to
it
reserve
happen.
matters. I agree. And my planning consultant bangs on and on and on and on. And I said, I'm not interested in reserve matters, just get it sorted. But I know exactly what you mean. There is a lot of work to do from this point. And actually, you make a good point, because so many people think, oh, it's got outline consent, it's done. It's not done. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
If this didn't have planning, I'd be so confident that you would get the best possible planning for it. And I would suggest getting the planning and selling it.
Okay.
Because I think in this area where you've said there has been quite a big uplift in prices, it's a fairly uncertain sort of, from here on is a fairly uncertain period in my mind, especially for areas that have been at the upper end of growth. Okay. And I think 24 months, nobody in this room knows, nobody in this country knows where we're going to be in 24 months with regards to prices and costs. And costs go up, prices are likely to come down, that squeezes the profit. The total profit is 30% on the investment you're asking for from the angels.
Yeah.
So it's actually only 15% sharing at 50-50. Now, over 24 months, that means it's actually only 7.5% per annum. So it's pretty tight. My number's right there?
No.
Okay, go,
You
sorry.
just,
Like that.
No, you just divided it once too much. Our bit of it would be 34.5%
okay.
total return,
But
but
it is
it is
still
over
spread
the
over
2
2
years.
Yeah.
So you still are at max 17.5%.
So, you know, this might be for one of the other guys, but
point
for
is
me,
right.
it's definitely toward the upper end of what I would be comfortable putting into a one development. And for those reasons, I just feel a little bit uncomfortable with this particular deal.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Ranjan, would you like to go next?
This is not for me for the reasons stated. I don't really like investing in deals once the planning permission's got. Like to be in before that, because basically you make money here from the build out. I have every faith that you guys you guys would certainly be able to manage the build out to effectively and all of that, but for the build out phase there just isn't enough in it for 2 years. You're great people and we should come with a better deal.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
When did your last build start, can I ask?
January.
January, so...
With the problem is it takes a long time. When you start talking to United Utilities, you get your S1,
Oh,
185.
tell me about it.
It's just so long,
The very
guys.
first thing to do on
Yeah.
any site, any new development or any conversion, sort the utilities out from day one because they take forever. The utilities being the electric, gas, water, whatever it might be.
The point I'm trying to make is that was 9 months ago.
Yeah.
I think in another 6 to 9 months, when you are likely to have got your reserve matter sorted or your preconditions discharged, I think your builder's going to turn around and say I'm 175 to 200 pounds a square foot. I'm not in because it's too much development risk. I think you guys should be going and sourcing land with options, with very little money down, adding the planning, even JVing with the owners of the land, and then flip it on to a developer to go and take the risk on the construction. So it's not for me, but I think you've got a great future and wish you all the best with it.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Helen?
much.
This a few years ago would have been right up my strasse. I've done a lot of stuff like this with varying results. So I have a lot of experience in this area. For the reasons that Paul has stated, we think a lot alike. 17%-ish per annum return for an equity stake. It is not a good enough return for me. That's not really even MES return levels. And here I'm talking about the capital stack. So I don't think the return is really what I'd look for. And I agree with the guys that you have upside risk on cost, i.e. they might rise, and you have downside risk on prices, so they might drop a bit. But I'm not going to offer you the money, but what I will offer you is something I've never offered anybody. Not on the show, and actually not outside of the show either. I don't do mentoring, don't do training, don't do any of that. But I just have this feeling about you two. And I've thought of at least 4 people that I need to connect you with to get better and more savvier, especially about what Nick said about the land and JVing with landowners and how to structure those deals. And I think you two are going to go places. So I will, if you want to, have a monthly call with you, help you on this, not mentor you, but be there as a guide and a support for you.
Well, thank you so much. It's very kind of you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Unless you get another offer.
I'm tempted to say yes to this deal just to work with you too.
Yeah, I know.
Not thinking it ain't going to be as good as you think, because I don't think it will be as good as you think. But I'm tempted, sorely tempted, to work with you on this, buy this, work with you on this, purely for the future deals we can do together. You don't need to worry about Helen and her mates, because you've got me. What am I going to do?
You've got to invest in the deal, John. Is the deal yes or no?
I know the rules, Nicholas. I wrote them.
Which means you can break them whenever you want.
I'm not often, and the rest of everyone here will I'm sorry, confirm it. I'm very rarely sat here thinking, what shall I do? I'm going to say no to this deal, but what I do want to do, I want to back the two of you going forward on funding, finding sites, some of which we'll build out because I know that's your passion and that's what you want to do. I'm not interested in doing that particularly, but if you are, that's fine. I'm willing to help fund those deals as long as we sell some land and then we can build some as well. So I'd like to have a call with you both in the next couple of days to seriously put down some plans to see what we can do together.
Brilliant.
But it's a no today.
Yeah,
No,
those are the two offers on the table.
No, it's literally, Helen's got some great contacts and very genuine people she can introduce you to. What I'm saying, and there's nothing wrong with that at all, and that's very kind of Helen to do that. What I'm saying is, I think we could start a business together, finding sites, which I'm not very good at, but you two are, finding sites, getting planning on them, developing some and selling some. That's what I'm saying. And have a call with you in a couple of days, have a think about it and see whether we can form some sort of company to move forward.
Okay.
Okay.
Well,
Thank
thank
you.
you very
No
much. For
today.
yeah, thank you very much for your
It's
time.
an absolute
for-
pleasure.
Well done. Great pitch.
Well done. Great
you.
pitch.
So, how was the experience for the both of you?
Yeah, it was fantastic.
Yeah, it was a really positive experience. We didn't get investment, but hopefully we've met some really good contacts, and we've still got a bright future ahead of us, I think.
Absolutely, yeah.
No, I didn't realise we could just offer people calls.
You can't start offering
I
courses.
thought we were
though,
offering
Ranjan.
funding.
We
I'll
are
start offering
offering
my
funding,
mentoring
but
and my new
I'm very
courses.
frustrated because literally I was very sorely tempted just to do the deal, just to work with
Yeah.
these guys
Oh, I
because
get
I
that.
thought they've got everything going for them. They're qualified. Look at the pack they've done. They're on the ball. The bit that they don't have in their locker, I have in my locker, and the sales, the figures.
It's just it's the wrong type of development for the current market, isn't it?
Yeah, they've got a lot
lot
more
of
to
risk
offer
in it.
than that. Because
Yeah.
anyone could pick that up and come to us and say, look, it's on the
There's
market.
no angle.
It's
is
like you said, like the juice has
Too
been
simple.
taken out by the
Too simple.
planning already.
Yeah.
But exactly, they are. I have this funny feeling that they're just going
I
to
agree.
smash this.
I agree, and they're nice people, they're genuine, decent people. One of the reasons why we do the show, isn't
Yeah.
it? Even
Yeah.
though the deal wasn't quite what we wanted, we've met two inspiring young people,
Absolutely.
and that's what it's about. It really is.
I think
Yeah.
that is worth saying, actually.
Yeah.
Just because things don't happen on the show,
No.
we all know, for all of us, things
Yeah.
have happened off the show or they've led
Yeah.
to things.
Exactly.
So
No.
it's beauty
No.
of the show.
Fantastic.
The Baker Street Property Meet is the UK's largest and #1 property investors networking event. The property market is going through monumental change right now, and at Baker Street Property Meet we aim to keep you up to date with the latest tips and tricks and insider tactics to help you keep on top of your property investing game and succeed in these troubled economic times. The Baker Street Property Meet is fundamentally about networking because it's not what you know, it's who you know. And at Baker Street, we aim to connect you with the people to make your property journey a monumental success. There's no better place to be to further your property investment journey than the Baker Street Property Meet. So make sure you're here, you're connecting with myself and Andrew Roberts, our expert guest speakers and 300 passionate property people each and every month. See you at the next meet. Get your spot at bakerstreetpropertymeet.com.